Well, I'm so glad that you are with us today. We are going to sing a few songs, and then I'm going to read from the Gospel Story Bible and tell you a little bit about that story in a short lesson. And then we'll join the adults for worship.
God used to dwell in a house among his people, but now he has a home that's better than the first. It doesn't look like a building with a steeple. Now he's living in the people of the church. Brick after brick, God is building his temple. Brick after brick, he is making it strong. With Christ the sure foundation and his people as the stones, he is building a place he can live. Brick after brick. Christ is the rock on which everything's depending. He's making sure his house is steady as can be. His love is strong and his promise is unending, and he'll protect his church from all their enemies. Brick after brick, God is building his temple. Brick after brick, he is making it strong. With Christ the sure foundation and his people as the stones, he is building a place he can live. Brick after brick. All his people gather round, singing out with joyful sound, giving glory to their Maker. And they build each other up as they share the bread and cup to remember their Savior.
Brick after brick,
Brick after brick after brick.
brick after brick,
Brick after brick after brick after brick. God is building his temple. Brick after brick, he is making it strong. With Christ the sure foundation and his people as the stones, he is building a place he can live. Brick after brick. Brick after brick after brick after brick.
Story 114, Peter denies Jesus. After arresting Jesus, the soldiers tied his hands together and led him away to the high priest. John and Peter followed a little way behind. John knew the high priest, so he was able to walk into the courtyard, but Peter remained outside the walls until John came back for him. It was chilly that night, so some people had started a fire in the middle of the courtyard to warm themselves. A servant girl looked at Peter's face in the flickering firelight. "You were with Jesus the Galilean," she said. "I don't know what you're talking about." Peter lied. That was the first time he denied knowing Christ. A little bit later, another servant told the crowd, "This man was with Jesus of Nazareth." "I do not know the man, I swear it," Peter said, denying Jesus a second time. Meanwhile, inside, Annas the high priest asked Jesus questions about his teaching. "Many people have heard me teach in the temple. Why don't you ask them?" Jesus said. That made the people so angry that they struck Jesus in the face. Then Annas sent him to Caiaphas, the high priest. There, Jesus listened as different people told Caiaphas lies about Jesus. The problem was that everyone who spoke had a different story. No one could agree. Jesus didn't say a word. Finally, the high priest asked him, "Tell us if you are the Son of God, the Messiah." Jesus answered, "You have said so, but I tell you, from now on you will see the Son of Man seated at the right hand of power and coming on the clouds of heaven." When he heard that, the high priest tore his robe, saying, "That's blasphemy! He deserves to die for what he said." Other people blindfolded Jesus and spat in his face. They slapped him, made fun of him, and hit him with their fists. Out in the courtyard, Peter sat by the fire. A servant of the high priest, a relative of the man whose ear Peter had cut off, asked, "Didn't I see you in the garden with Jesus?" Peter lied again, saying, "I don't know the man that you're talking about." But just at that moment, a rooster crowed, and Jesus turned and looked right at Peter. Peter remembered what Jesus had said. He would deny him 3 times before the rooster crowed. Peter ran out of the courtyard and cried as though his heart would break. And while he wept, the Jewish leaders took Jesus to the palace of the Roman governor, Pontius Pilate. They had made their decision. Jesus should be killed, and they wanted Pilate to order it. Before Jesus was arrested, Peter was very sure of himself. In the garden, he brought a sword and even cut off a man's ear to fight for Jesus. But when Jesus didn't fight back and was arrested, Peter grew afraid. He lost his courage and he denied knowing Jesus 3 times. What went wrong? Peter's confidence was in himself, not in Jesus. Peter was a sinner, but the good news is that Jesus would die on the cross for Peter. He took the punishment Peter deserved for denying him. Like Peter, we often trust in our own strength, but we need to trust in Jesus. That is important because, like Peter, we can't win the battle with sin on our own.
Now this week we're learning about the time just after Jesus' arrest when Peter is confronted and the people that are in the courtyard near the fire start accusing him of being one of Jesus' disciples. And of course, Peter denies it 3 times and then the rooster crows. Now, Jesus warned Peter. He was very proud. "Oh, I will, go with you unto death." But Jesus said, "Be careful, because Satan is seeking to sift you. But I've prayed that you won't fail." So I want to do a little experiment to show you about the whole issue of lying. Now, we just called "This is my heart." This is our heart. We have a sinful heart inside. And this is my little joker guy he's going to be tempted to lie. Now, as long as you keep you have a lie, you start to think, "Oh, maybe I'm going to get in trouble, I'm going to lie." If you hold it in and you repent of it, then it won't grow. But the moment it comes out of you, it begins to grow. So it's kind of like this. Let's just pretend this is Peter. The servant girl says, "Hey, weren't you with Jesus?" And Peter just lets lies come out of his mouth. Here come the lies. No, I don't know him. Now, the minute the lies come out, they begin to grow. Look how big this is compared to the can. The sinful heart, out of the abundance of the heart, Jesus said in Luke 6, the mouth speaks. And then another person comes up, "Surely you were with them." And Peter says, No, I wasn't. I'm not one of them. And out comes more lies. And then finally, a 3rd time, someone comes to Peter and says, yes, you're a Galilean. You were with him. And it says that Peter starts heaping down curses on himself. "Oh, cursed be me. I don't know him. I don't know what you're talking about. No, I'm not one of his." One lie leads to another, and to another. and will only get you further into trouble. But Jesus came to die on the cross for Peter. Jesus restored Peter after his death. He said, "Feed my sheep," welcoming Peter back. Why? Because Jesus died on the cross for Peter's lies, and he rose again so that Peter could be forgiven and restored. So the next time you think about lying, don't think that it will be one small lie. Look at the mess that comes out of your mouth when you lie.
Well, I hope you enjoyed today's singing and Bible study. And now get ready because we're going to join the adult worship.